F Troop turned the Old West into a world of comedy, chaos, and unforgettable television charm. What began as a light-hearted frontier sitcom became a classic that fans still remember decades later. But after all these years, the laughter now comes with sadness, as many familiar faces from the show have taken their final bow. In this video, we look back at the F Troop cast, then and now, in 2026. Ken Barry was born in 1933 in Moline, Illinois. He was 31 when he played Captain Wilton Parmenter. Clumsy, cheerful, and somehow still in charge, Barry made Fort Courage's captain feel like the nicest man who should probably not be running a cavalry post. Barry brought dance, timing, and a soft kind of goofiness to television comedy, later staying familiar to fans through Mayberry RFD and Mama's Family. He died in 2018 at age 85. Parmenter was funny because Barry never made him mean or stupid. He played him like a lucky accident in uniform. Sweet, awkward, and always one disaster away from turning Fort Courage upside down. James Hampton was born in 1936 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. He was 29 when he played Hannibal Dobbs. Wide-eyed, nervous, and wonderfully clueless, Hampton gave the fort its bugler who could make trouble sound hilarious before it even arrived. Hampton carried that warm comic sidekick energy into films and television for decades, from The Longest Yard to Teen Wolf. He died in 2021 at age 84 after complications from Parkinson's disease. Dobbs had the perfect face for F Troop chaos. Hampton made him innocent, funny, and just confused enough to belong in a fort where every plan seemed to go sideways by lunchtime. Forrest Tucker was born in 1919 in Plainfield, Indiana. He was 46 when he played Sergeant Morgan O'Rourke. Big, loud, and always working an angle, Tucker made the sergeant feel like the real businessman of Fort Courage. Tucker had already built a long career in westerns, war films, and adventure stories before turning this role into pure sitcom hustle. He died in 1986 at age 67 after a battle with lung cancer. O'Rourke brought the scheme machine to F Troop. Tucker played him with a grin, a bark, and a salesman's confidence. Like every disaster was just another chance to make a little profit. Larry Storch was born in 1923 in New York City. He was 42 when he played Sepal Randolph Agarn. Excitable, rubber-faced, and gloriously over-the-top, Storch gave the fort one of its wildest comic engines. Storch was a nightclub comic, voice actor, and television favorite, but Agarn became the role fans loved him for most. He died in 2022 at age 99 from natural causes. Agarn could panic, pose, shout, or fall apart in seconds, and Storch made every version funny. His timing with Forrest Tucker gave the show its best buddy comedy spark. Frank Kova was born in 1910 in New York City. He was 55 when he played Chief Wild Eagle. Dry, clever, and wonderfully deadpan, Kova made the chief feel like the smartest man dealing with the dumbest cavalry nearby. Kova worked for years in westerns, crime shows, and dramas, before becoming a familiar comedy face through this role. He died in 1981 at age 71 after suffering a heart attack. Wild Eagle had the best kind of calm in a show full of nonsense. Kova played him like he could see through every scheme before anyone finished explaining it. Bob Steele was born in 1907 in Portland, Oregon. He was 58 when he played Trooper Duffy. Tiny, tough, and carrying a whole lifetime of Western dust, Steele gave Fort Courage a classic old cowboy flavor. Steele had been a Western star since the silent and early sound era, long before he became part of this silly cavalry comedy. He died in 1988 at age 81 after a long illness. Trooper Duffy felt like a wink to old Western fans. Steele may have been standing inside a sitcom, but that weathered face still looked like it had ridden through every trail in Hollywood. Don Diamond was born in 1921 in Brooklyn, New York. He was 44 when he played Crazy Cat. Quick, funny, and full of playful energy, Diamond gave the Hikawi tribe one of its liveliest comic personalities. Diamond worked across radio, television, and film, often bringing sharp timing to Western comedies and adventure shows. He died in 2011 at age 90 after suffering heart failure. Crazy Cat added another burst of mischief to the show's friendly chaos. Diamond made him fast, expressive, and fun to watch, especially when the cavalry's plans got even more ridiculous. Joe Brooks was born in 1923 in St. Louis, Missouri. He was 41 when he played Trooper Vanderbilt. Tall, gentle, and hilariously nearsighted, Brooks made the fort's lookout man funny, before he even understood what he was looking at. Brooks became best remembered for this role, giving the show one of its sweetest running jokes. He died in 2007 at age 83 from natural causes. Vanderbilt was comedy built on perfect confusion. Brooks played him with such innocent seriousness that every missed signal, wrong sighting, and delayed reaction felt right at home in Fort Courage. Jimmy Horan was born in 1910 in Los Angeles, California. He was 57 when he played Trooper Hogan. Weathered, quiet, and right at home in a cavalry uniform, Horan gave Fort Courage one more Old West face in the middle of all the nonsense. Horan worked for years as an actor and stunt performer, filling out Western towns, saloons, and army posts across classic Hollywood. He died in 1967 at age 59 after suffering a heart attack. Trooper Hogan was a small part of the F Troop crowd, but faces like Horan helped the fort feel busy and alive. He added that extra bit of dusty background texture every good Western comedy needed. John Mitchum was born in 1919 in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He was 46 when he played Hoffenmuller. Big, gruff, and naturally comic in a rough-around-the-edges way, Mitchum fit perfectly into the fort's parade of oddball characters. Mitchum built a steady career in westerns, crime films, and television, often bringing a tough, familiar presence to supporting roles. He died in 2001 at age 82 after suffering a stroke. Hoffenmuller added another bit of flavor to Fort Courage. Mitchum had the kind of face and voice that made even a small role feel solid, like one more strange piece of the cavalry puzzle. Edward Everett Horton was born in 1886 in Brooklyn, New York. He was 79 when he played Roaring Chicken. Proper, fluttery, and wonderfully ridiculous, Horton brought old-school comic elegance into the show's Western madness. Horton had been a beloved comic actor since classic Hollywood's golden age, famous for his nervous delivery and polished timing. He died in 1970 at age 84 after a battle with cancer. Roaring Chicken was funny before he even did much. Horton's refined style clashed beautifully with the dusty fort setting, making the whole joke feel even stranger and more charming. Benny Baker was born in 1907 in St. Joseph, Missouri. He was 58 when he played Pete. Round-faced, lively, and naturally funny, Baker brought the kind of old-school character comedy that fit right into Fort Courage's non-stop confusion. Baker spent decades popping up in films and television, usually adding a quick laugh, a familiar face, or a bit of comic noise to the scene. He died in 1994 at age 87 from natural causes. Pete was not a major player in F Troop, but Baker knew how to make a small part feel fun. His presence added one more odd little spark to a fort, where nobody seemed fully in control. Harvey Perry was born in 1900 in San Francisco, California. He was 65 when he played Charlie. Rugged, seasoned, and carrying that old stuntman toughness, Perry gave the show another face that looked like it had survived the whole Western era. Perry worked for decades as an actor and stuntman, doubling stars and filling action scenes long before audiences knew his name. He died in 1985 at age 85 after suffering a heart attack. Charlie may have been a small role, but Perry brought real Hollywood history with him. In a silly Western comedy, his weathered presence quietly reminded viewers of the classic Westerns the show was poking fun at. James Gregory was born in 1911 in the Bronx, New York. He was 54 when he played Major Duncan. Stern, loud, and wonderfully full of military bluster, Gregory gave the fort exactly the kind of authority figure it needed to make the comedy even messier. Gregory built a long career playing generals, bosses, politicians, and hard-nosed men who could command a room with one bark. He died in 2002 at age 90 from natural causes. Major Duncan brought pressure from above, which was always bad news for Fort Courage. Gregory made him serious enough to scare the troops, but big enough in attitude to keep the whole thing funny. Charles Seal was born in 1897 in New York City. He was 68 when he played Abijah Mims. Thin, wiry, and full of old-timer flavor, Seal brought that classic frontier oddball energy into Fort Courage's comic little world. Seal spent decades as a character actor in radio, film, and television, often playing shopkeepers, elders, townsmen, and crusty old side characters. He died in 1980 at age 82 after a battle with cancer. Abijah Mims had the kind of face that made a western town feel instantly busier. Seal did not need much screen time. One look, one voice, and he fit right into the show's goofy frontier rhythm. Melody Patterson was born in 1949 in Inglewood, California. She was only 16 when she played Wrangler Jane. Pretty, spirited, and full of tomboy confidence, Patterson gave Fort Courage its sweetest burst of frontier charm. Patterson became a fan favorite as Wrangler Jane, bringing young energy and romantic comedy spark to the fort's parade of schemes. She died in 2015 at age 66 after multiple organ failure. Wrangler Jane was not just the cute girl at the trading post. Patterson made her lively, bold, and genuinely fun, the kind of character who could flirt, joke, and still handle herself in the middle of all that F-Troop chaos. Thanks for watching. If F-Troop made you smile, please subscribe and join us again for more classic then and now memories.